SVC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily Podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
Hi, my name's Steve Hoare and I'm the editor of SBC Leaders and the Player Protection Hub. And this is the iGaming Daily, brought to you by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. And today, iGaming Daily is going to take you to the movies, something a little bit different, because a couple of weeks ago, I went to the premiere of a short film called Friday Night Flop, and it was directed by my very good friend, Elliott Gerner, and he's with me today. Hi, El.
Hi, Steve.
I've known Elliott for about 30 years, so this is going to be an interesting chat.
That long? My God.
Yeah, I know. You are that old.
More. I reckon 90... What year? 92 we knew each other or something? Yeah. Is that right? 02, 22? I don't know.
32 years then. So we're here to talk about El's film, Friday Night Flop, because it's about poker. When I was at the premiere, it was quite a glitzy occasion. There were former poker pros there. I think Victoria Corrin, I don't think she plays anymore, does she, El? Do you know?
She definitely has a home game because she posts on Instagram. Whether she still, I think she probably, I don't know whether she still does tournaments or not, but I think I've read that she, like her words, I think she still does play, but maybe doesn't tour the world.
The North London poker glitterati were out in force for Elliott's premiere. It was part of the Jewish Film Festival, and which is also interesting for the iGaming folks because of the massive influence that Israeli entrepreneurs have had on this space, which we'll come to later. But tell me a little bit about the genesis of this film, El. How did it come about?
Nice use of the word genesis as well, going biblical, even better.
I was wondering.
See what you're doing there, Steve. Yeah, it was. So it was every year the Jewish Film Festival have a competition which is run by Pairs. It's a big charitable organisation who sponsor or fund 2 short films. So I wrote a script with a friend of mine, Simon Friedberg, and we submitted it. I think they get like about 80 odd films a year, they said. So, and they shortlist 2. So we were delighted to win the competition. So we had to pitch it back in February 2024, not long after writing it. It took us sort of a very short period of time to write. We did it in 3 days just because of the sort of deadline, which we only realised quite sort of soon after we saw it advertised. So we wrote it together. It was the first drama that I'd ever written. And we pitched it and then we won and then off you go. So you get £13,500 from the Jewish Film Festival to make it, which isn't a lot in movie terms at all. So we managed to raise a bit more and all the rest, and we started shooting it in July. And it took 3 days to film, and then about 3 or 4 weeks to edit and go through all the final post. And as you say, it went out in November at the festival. So it was great. So it premiered at the Curzon Mayfair. We were honoured, in fact, to be the first film to be shown at the festival. So it was put out just before Jesse Eisenberg's film, its feature called A Real Pain, and then ours. So ours went out before that, and then at the Phoenix Cinema that you came to with the great and the good that attended. So it's been a real ride. It's been lots of fun, and it's been great.
Cool. Yeah, so it's your first feature film. You've got a background in TV, of course. A lot of do you call them reality shows? I guess you kind of do.
Sort of like a lot of those kind of shows. Yeah, entertainment, factual stuff.
But this came about because of your love of poker, right?
That's right. Yeah. So that was a big part of the story.
Talk me through your history with poker.
Well, I've been playing since as long as I can remember, really. Certainly, I remember playing cards, with my grandparents as a young kid round the table. When I wasn't even, my hands were so small, I had to put the cards for 10 card rummy we used to play and put them on a tray on my lap. And And sort of I've been playing, since then, really, since a boy. Probably poker much later, in sort of my teens, really. I got really into it, probably 15, 16. And I've always loved those kind of games. I used to play chess to quite a high level. I was sort of ranked in the country when I was a kid. And so I like all those kind of those type of games. And I've sort of been playing poker online probably around the time my daughter was born, which was around 15 years ago. Next week she's 15. So I've been playing sort of online pretty much since then, and in tournaments. And but before that was just sort of a home game which we've been playing for 25, 30 years, really.
Do you used to play on Betfair Poker, didn't you, or was it Sky? I feel like I remember this from years back.
Yeah, Sky Poker, still playing. A bit of
still on Sky.
Still on Sky. Sometimes, or very rarely, on Pokerstars. We sort of migrated to Pokerstars during COVID, when we could have a home game with our own friends, and so we set up a game on that. So I don't know if that was I don't know if you can do that on the Sky Poker website, but certainly now that's what I play. So I play Texas Hold'em and Omaha, my two games of choice.
Cool. So let's talk about the film. So it's called Friday Night Flop, and it stars Tracy Ann Oberman, who was in EastEnders, among other things. Actually, I had to look this up afterwards, but she killed Dirty Dan, as it goes.
She did, yeah.
Which is a kind of legendary thing, right? Well, to our people that are as old as us will remember Dirty Den from the 80s, but the youth, like our producer, probably don't even know who Dirty Den is.
Who's Dirty Den?
But anyway, she was also in, I think quite famously, a show called Friday Night Dinner, which I didn't know. Is this a coincidence, or is that how you got to Tracy Ann?
No, that's just a coincidence, and even the names are kind of coincidence. We always knew we wanted to sort of set it on a Friday night, on Shabbat, on the Sabbath, the Jewish Sabbath, which, it will come clear if we talk about the sort of like the actual, like the story. But in terms of asking Tracy Ann, we approached her through someone at the Jewish Film Festival. We always had her in mind, and actually at the sort of 15th anniversary of the Jewish Film Festival's sort of short film fund event that we turned up to, I was going to approach her, and I got a pack of cards all made up with her face on it, and it was all my little calling card. But she couldn't make it, unfortunately. But then we got in touch with her, and we found out that she has a daughter who's an actor who's exactly the same age as the kid that we were looking to cast, and she was fantastic. So so that's how that came about. And so she was fabulous, as was Anushka, her daughter. She was amazing.
Yeah, she was really good.
SBC Leaders connects the gambling industry's top-tier operators and associations to share the best ideas, collaborate on solving the biggest issues, and push innovation throughout the betting and gaming industry. If you're an operator and want to join the discussion, visit sbcleaders.com for more information.
I'll give a slight recap of that. You can butt in when I get it wrong, but of the plot. But so it kind of revolves around this mother-daughter relationship, and the mother's really worried about the daughter because she's basically a teenager or young 20s and never comes out of her bedroom. And there's a brilliant scene where she goes up into her bedroom, and the daughter's online playing poker, and Tracy Ann, what's her name in the film? Does she have a name in the film?
Yeah, Ellen Himmelbaum.
Ellen Himmelbaum
is the mum, and the daughter is Maya Himmelbaum, named after my daughter Maya.
Maya, yeah, of course, yeah. Anyway, so Ellen says to Maya, she said, "And you're up here gambling?" And Maya turns to her and says, "Mum, it's not gambling, it's a game of skill," which is just this brilliant line because, I don't know if you know this, Elliot, but like court cases have been fought on that line for the best part of several decades. In fact, that was Pokerstars' whole, Pokerstars' lawyers' whole reason for operating in America for so long before they were shut down on Black Friday.
Yeah.
I just thought that bit was Spot on.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no,
I
it's
don't know if you
true.
were aware of all that background.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, the whole Black Friday thing's quite. Yeah, it had a massive upheaval. I know on the American poker online market. So yeah, it has huge ramifications, and it's yeah, it's a big shame. And it's now opening up again. I think in several states. I think it's like 3 or 4 states you can play in, but still not across the country. It went through on Obama's legislation.
Six actually.
Is it six? Is it six?
Yeah.
But didn't it go out? It was kind of went out on some weird, like on the back of some other kind of shipping law, and they added it on to the end or something.
The Safe Ports Act.
There we
the
go.
Safe
Look
Ports
at you.
Act.
Look at you. Safe
It's almost
Ports
as if
Act.
it's my job to know these things.
It is very good, very good. But yeah, no, that line about it's a skill, it's gambling, and all of the rest. It's yeah, I'd written it sort of like 3 or 4 or 5 times. We kept on adding and taking away, and it was. But it's absolutely, I mean, it's absolutely the case. It is a game of skill, and that's why it's such a different game, isn't it, to any of the other casino games like roulette or blackjack, because it is, you know, there's skill involved, obviously, and that is that's the difference, and that's why I love it, and that's why I like the daughter loving it, and that's why I always felt it worked really well. I was listening to a podcast actually with a woman poker player who teaches her own daughter poker because she sees it as exactly that, and she had lots of other women poker players sort of on this chat, and it was really interesting. And my son plays it a lot, my daughter's less so, but it is, you know, it's a fantastic game. And yeah, and that's how.
Do you know what? It's actually that argument that kept Isai Scheinberg, the Pokerstars founder, out of prison when he eventually went back to the States to plead guilty to gambling charges. The judge kind of was lenient because his lawyers had advised him that it was a game of skill. So he just did time served or whatever. He didn't actually go to prison. So Isai Scheinberg, the Pokerstars founder from Lithuania, but he went and moved to Canada, but obviously young Jewish guy, founded Pokerstars. I thought we should have got him on this. Like, I mean, this would not be easy. Like, I don't know him personally. I've only spoken to him once, but I do know people that know him. So, like, because that'd be quite good, interesting to show him this film, and like,
I'd love to show him it. I'd love to show it to him. We've just sent it to Jason Kuhn, who Simon, my co-director and writer, knows. So I'd be curious to see what he thinks about it. But obviously, he knows it's it's a massive game of skill. He's made about $58 million in online in tournament winnings over the years. So he's doing all right for himself. But yeah, that's always how I see it. You know, that's how I try and convince my wife, you know, when I'm playing online. Oh, it's a game of skill. It's a game of skill. Don't worry. No, but it's it's a brilliant game. It's a fantastic game.
So and in the film we have the rabbi. Tracy Ann turns to the rabbi for assistance in this. I'm not going to give too much away, but anyway, but we end up seeing the rabbi playing a bit of poker. Do we know any famous rabbis that play poker? Do you know any famous rabbis that play, or any rabbis that play poker? Is this okay for rabbis to play poker?
Yeah, it's absolutely okay for a rabbi to play poker. I'm pretty sure, but when it comes to playing poker on a Friday night, on the Shabbat, on the Sabbath, probably less so. Before I pitched the film to the Jewish Film Festival, I WhatsApped a friend of mine who's a rabbi, a female rabbi, and she's a liberal rabbi. So she's not like the Reform. She's not as sort of orthodox as other rabbis might be. And I said, is it okay for a rabbi to play poker on a Friday night? And she WhatsApped me back and said, Elliott, not even we play poker on a Friday night. So that was that made me laugh, and that's what I said to them in the pitch, and it's true. But you know, without giving too much of the story away, the rabbi saw that the girl who was alienated from her family, you know, in order to bring her back into the family fold, it was the right move for him to join in the poker game.
Absolutely, he's a good rabbi.
He's a good-hearted rabbi.
Yeah, well, as they tend to be, right? I guess one hopes. So what's next for the film? Where can people see it if they desire after this scintillating conversation?
Yeah, well, it's just done the rounds of the UK actually. So it's been in London and 10 cities or so around the UK. And we are now going to be taking it onto the film festival circuit around the world. So we're just submitting it to the US film festivals at the moment. So watch this space, but it will certainly go out, it will go out to film festivals around the world, but we haven't got any specific dates yet I can give you, but it will certainly happen. And so this year and the next, these short films tend to have about a 2-year lifespan. So we're going to sort of optimize that, and then hopefully, if we can get it onto the, onto a streamer, that would be fantastic. But that's the first plan is for the film festivals. Both we've been told like Tribeca would really suit this film. We'd love to get it into Sundance as well as Jewish film festivals. It's got a lot of universal themes, and we love the film for that. So it feels like it will resonate with anyone really who has, you don't have to like poker either, but it's been really well received. We've been asked whether we'd turn it into a feature because the characters have got legs, so we feel like we could potentially take the characters off to sort of Vegas on a road trip, Little Miss Sunshine kind of vibe to the film, which is what we've been suggested. So that's another road that we're probably going to go down to.
That's cool. That's very exciting.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Presumably there's a lot of things that need to fall into place before you take it to Hollywood, though.
Yes, exactly. So we got to write the thing first, but that's the next step. And yes, it would be a long road ahead, and no doubt it'd be very difficult. But you got to. Well, I think we'll give it a go. It's I think without trying, we'll never know. But it's something that you're not going to do. No one's going to come and say, "Here's $1 million, go write it, make it." It's just got to be. We're going to have to start both talking to producers and getting funding and getting, and obviously that, and to do that, we'll need a script. But we've got a great calling card in the short film, so that's helpful.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I loved it. I recommend it to everyone. And I think that's about all for today. So thanks very much, Elliott.
No, it's a pleasure, Steve. It's a total pleasure.
Yeah, I guess do you think I'm allowed to leave this without asking you whether Arsenal are going to win the league?
No, you've always got to ask, but I don't know. Well, the answer is probably not, but we could win the Champions League.
Oh.
So that's okay. I'll take that. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I think you should.
And will Southampton survive?
Absolutely not. No chance.
Okay. Well, let's end this on a really positive note for both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Elliott. That was the iGaming Daily, all about the film Friday Night Flop, showing at a festival near you soon. And this was iGaming Daily with Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News Network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.